Hi, welcome to my channel. My name's Chance, and today I'll be reviewing Agent Avenue. So in Agent Avenue, two players are going to be playing head-to-head as spies hiding out in a suburban neighborhood. Now, you've started to suspect that one of your neighbors isn't so ordinary, and your goal is to determine if they have a secret identity. So the way this game works is that in the center of the table, there's going to be a circular board, and each one of you is going to have a meeple that is going to start on your home base, which is your home in the suburban neighborhood. Then your goal is to recruit other people in the town to help you determine if this person has that secret identity. So you can kind of picture the theme as that 60s suburban neighborhood with lots of gossip going around and people talking about each other and trying to discover if people are up to something nefarious. Then this is what's called an I split you choose game. So players will have a hand of 4 cards. They will choose 2 of those cards. One will be played face down, the other one will be played face up. And then their opponent has to choose one of those cards to add to their tableau. So then once they choose a card, they'll add that to the tableau and determine how far they get to move. Basically the cards there's going to be 6 of each type of card out there, except for 2 special ones that just have 1 of each. But essentially when you add a card to your tableau, you're gonna move the value according to how many cards are in that tableau. So like the Daredevil here. This one has, the first time I get a Daredevil, I get to move 2 spaces. If I get a second Daredevil, I get to move 3 spaces. If I get a third Daredevil, there's a special symbol there that we're gonna come back to in a second. But other cards, so very similar, like we have the Sentinel here. First time I get a Sentinel, 0 spaces. Second time, 2 spaces. Third time, 6 spaces. So this is a really easy game to play, but this all comes down to that core mechanic of I split you choose. Basically, you're trying to determine what the other player kind of wants, and that you're trying to kind of maybe entice them with that face-up card, but there's always that risk or that possible benefit of taking that face-down card. Did you hide something good there, or did you put something really bad there? So the game will end if one player catches the other player. There's 2 other ways the base game is going to end here, and that's going to be the Code Breaker. So the Code Breaker is a special card that the first time you get it, you move 0 spaces. Second time you get it, 0 spaces. But if you get 3 Code Breakers, you get that sweet, sweet check mark. And that check mark means you instantly win the game. Now, back to that Daredevil, there is also the Daredevil, which the first time you get it, 2 spaces. Second time, 3 spaces. Third time, you get that terrifying X. That means you lost. So that is the overview of Agent Avenue. And this brings me into, let's just go into the things that I like about this game. And number 1, this is easy. This is easy to teach. This is easy to table. It is really straightforward to play. And it's just a great kind of base mechanic for a game. Like the structure of this game is really good and really engaging for new players. And it's so easy to table. And that's probably why I've gotten so many plays of this already. It's just easy to pull out and easy to teach people. And you can have a round over in, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes. So right there, that is like already a great reason to get this, because I'm gonna state right up front that this game is fantastic. The fact that it's fantastic and it's easy to table, that's even better. So moving on to kind of some of the more nitty-gritty details here. The next thing I like about this, before I go into it, I actually have to talk about another game. I'm gonna talk a little bit about Hanamikoji. So Hanamikoji is a game that I would say introduced me to I Split You Choose. This is the first time that I really encountered that mechanic in a game, and let's just say I was kind of blown away by it. Hanamikoji is by far one of my favorite 2-player games. Now, don't take that as a recommendation to buy it, because this one hurts my brain. This one is one of the crunchiest games that I have ever played. It reminds me a bit of chess. Now, I personally strongly dislike chess. It's a little too complex, can take a little too long if you're good at it, and if you're not good at it, you get destroyed. Hanamikoji, I think you're also going to get destroyed if you're not good at it. But it has kind of that similar head-to-head, the your wits against the opponent's wits, that type of feeling to it. It is high tension, high stakes. Every time I place out cards for my opponent to choose, I feel like I probably just lost the game. And I like that feeling. I like that feeling of being on edge. So when I played this game, I've always wanted to kind of seek out some more games that have that I split you choose mechanic because of how much I've enjoyed this one. And that's where Agent Avenue comes in. So while Hanamikoji is kind of like standing at the edge of the cliff to get a great view of the ocean, maybe a little risky, maybe a little too much tension. Maybe you're hanging off by one hand like those crazy rock climbers, right? Like you're out there living life on the edge and always at the risk of imminent failure. In case of hanging off the cliff, maybe imminent death. But let's just say you're always kind of right at that limit of just you're gonna lose because of the choice you just made. Hanamikoji or Agent Avenue here literally says, let's take I Split you choose the suburbs. Or maybe it's saying, okay, maybe instead of hanging off the cliff, you know, just stay on the beach and look at the view. Like it's still the same ocean, so you can still get a great view from the beach. Just do that. So Agent Avenue is a much softer version of this I Split You Choose mechanic. Like I don't feel that much tension, I don't feel that much crunch, but I still love every turn I have in this game because it's so fun to just have these 4 cards and choose those 2 to play. Because there's one other rule in here where you can't play 2 cards of the same name, because that's kind of a boring turn if you had 2 cards of the same name. So maybe you throw out something like a Saboteur out here, which has only negative movement, but then maybe you throw out the Double Agent as a face down card. Now that other person, you're trying to figure out what's their process of thinking. Like, do they see that Saboteur and say, oh, there's got to be a good card on the face down one? Or do they look at the Saboteur and say, is there a worse card than the Saboteur? Do I want to know what that face down card is? So you're working on that double think. You're trying to figure out what that other person kind of values in this game. Are they risk averse? Or do they want to take those risks? Do they want that face down card? And then the great thing about this is like the Daredevil and the Codebreaker in this, since they change up those endgame mechanics, it's always super exciting when someone gets those 2 Codebreakers. Then it's like putting that face down card out there. Like you want to, super risky if you're throwing another Codebreaker there. You're possibly just giving them the win, but you can't throw a Codebreaker face up anymore. So you have to, because else they'll take it right away, obviously. So do you try to put one under there? And if you both get 2 Codebreakers, ooh, now things are getting spicy. Now, the other thing is like the Daredevil. When someone has 2 Daredevils, then it's like, do they ever take the face down card? That could be too big of a risk for them to take that face down card. Do they risk losing the game with that face down card you just put out in front of them? So it's just a fantastic mechanic. It doesn't, like I said, doesn't have that crunch of Hanamikoji that I really enjoy. It doesn't have that tension of Hanamikoji, but I think that's a good thing. I'm not gonna play Hanamikoji with everyone. Not everyone I play it with loves that feeling of playing and loves kind of going through that calculation space. But everyone I played Agent Avenue with, I think everyone's enjoyed it, and I think some people have really loved it. So I think this one has done a great job of taking a mechanic that I was super interested in and making it accessible to everyone I play games with. Now, the next thing that I really, this is probably number 3 because I talked about the ease of play as well. Third thing I really like about this game is that if I flip over this board, there's some extra little icons on the back side of this board. And that's because this game comes with what's essentially an expansion for it. It comes with advanced mode. It comes with an advanced mode of play, which I think is fantastic because the base game itself, I can definitely see that getting a little repetitive. Even a few plays of it might start to feel samey. But they threw in this advanced mode, which brings out this black market deck, and essentially the way the game changes is you're just gonna take this deck, and at the beginning of the game, you're gonna throw out 3 black market cards. Then if anyone ever lands directly on one of those black market spaces, they get to take one of those black market cards, which gives them either an instant effect or some kind of permanent change to how the game is going to work. And this adds so much just wonderful variety to this game that it gives it the variability and that it needs to have that replayability. So there's things like the Sinister Twin, which is a permanent card. And this one says whenever you recruit a double agent, you're gonna move double the value, forward or backwards. So the double agent, the first time you get a card, -1, so that'd be -2. Second time though, you move forward 6 spaces. So if you have the Sinister Twin and a double agent, you're going 12 spaces, which is huge in this game. So that changes the value of the double agent for the player that takes this card. Now the player placing those cards for the I Split You Choose, I have to be a little more cautious about what they're doing with that double agent card. Then there's other cards that will change like the victory condition of the game. Like right here I have Leader of the Pack. This one says, so during the end step, if you have 3 daredevils in place, remember that's the way you lose the game. Instead, you win the game. So that right there changes the value of those daredevil cards. And it's just, it brings out enough variation. And this deck, while it's not big, I feel like seeing different cards every time I play gives you different opportunities and different objectives to go for. So this little black market deck does a fantastic job of giving this game the variability that it needs to kind of be replayable for a very, very long time. I played this game 10 or 12 times now, and I am nowhere near bored of it. I love bringing this out. So that's gonna do it for my review of Agent Avenue. And I hope you can tell that, yeah, I definitely recommend this game. This is gonna be staying in my collection for a long time, I would say. By far, one of the best 2-player games I've played. And I would say it's not like up there with things like, you know, Star Wars Rebellion that are like those giant massive games, but just as a quick little dueling game, head-to-head, light, easy to pull out, easy to teach people, like by far one of my favorites. So highly recommend it. Highly recommend checking it out if you can. Let me know your thoughts on this. If you've had an opportunity to play it, it's still kind of variability is a little sparse in the US. I ordered this one overseas shipping, so a little pricey, but hopefully it'll be a little more available in the US soon. And yeah, highly recommend picking up a copy. Let me know if you have any questions. And of course, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.